Yo, what is up, boys and girls of the Mirror Cult? Welcome to another Mirror Recap episode. This is week 8 of MPL Indonesia. I forgot what you want to clap. No, that gimmick was a joke. It's usually how they do it in MP show and stuff. But welcome to Mirror Recap. Hey! That's how they do it, right? That's how they. So shout outs to MP show for inspiring the claps and the discussions. But yeah, welcome to Mirror Recap.
What was that segment?
Week 8 has we just went through week 8. It was a pretty shocking week, to be honest with you, for some matches. We'll get to that later. A lot of you guys seem to think there are match fixings and just stuff. But let's start with the big problem instantly here, right? We have 3 teams outside of the playoffs. So what do you think about all the teams? I think we don't want to talk about Na'Vi because we know what the problem is for Na'Vi. We've already discussed that already. DEWA and EVOS. Which one do you guys want to take? I think 1 and 1. You guys can go EVOS or DEWA. Or you want to go both if you have...
I think we should go both.
Okay, so EVOS first. No, let's just start with DEWA and then we end with EVOS. Who wants to start? Arashi Cheffihn?
Well, Sheffhinn's looking at me, so I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
So just thoughts about them right now.
Thoughts about them right now and like why they didn't make it to playoffs.
Well, let's start with EVOS.
Okay.
Yeah, we hear a lot of rumors as casters. We hear a lot less than Mirko does, so maybe you can weigh in on this after this. But yeah, we heard that there's a lot of internal problems in a sense that like the synergy just wasn't there. On top of it all, there's a glaring issue of like the swapping of players again and again.
Yeah.
Like, dude, man, like, it's like, why? You know, you can't help but just wonder, like, what the heck is going on there? Like, you know, was there any reason for this? Is there something we don't know? And I feel like at this point, even if you're an EVO supporter, you would want to know, right? Because at least make a statement, you know, because the fans are just like, what's going on? It doesn't seem like this is what the org needs. It doesn't seem like it's what the fans want either. So, like, why are all these swaps happening?
Yep.
It's definitely confusing. I feel like that obviously adds on to the issue of like we heard the rumors about the disconnect between the veteran players and the newer players as well.
Yeah.
So to sum it all up, it's like a synergy issue. But I don't see, and I haven't heard anything, because again with the rumors, we haven't heard anything along the lines of like them trying to solve that issue.
Yeah.
The closest thing we get to hear about EVOS and them solving their main problem is Avil in the losers interview.
Yeah.
And he's going, we're trying this, we're doing that. I believe just earlier I saw he made a post, a statement, like, you know, very sorry about everything. We tried our best. We did try things. But again, I feel like if I was a supporter, I would want to know, like, what are these things you're trying? Because, like, we're not seeing the results. And I think another big problem was what Mirko was talking about on desk, actually, when we were talking about how Erlan was doing so good. But now it just seems like a whole different person, right? And that magic that we saw in the early seasons just seems to be gone now from not just him, right? From the whole team overall. So you really feel bad for them. And you really wonder if the swaps resulted in that, you know, or if, you know, it turns out something else happened as well. But for now, with our assumptions, that seems to be the case here.
Yeah. Cheffihn, you want to weigh in on EVOS?
Well, the thing is, when Arashi already talked about a lot of things, I feel like there's not much things to talk about too. What I want to talk about is like the fact that I think in terms of preparation going into the season, it was actually pretty good. They got Albert, they got Key. That's the package, right? Because we know that these guys already have a synergy despite them not being in the same team. So I feel like there's not much of an excuse, especially from the management, because it feels like that's where all the root of the problems are. So yeah, if you're a fan, like, if you're feeling let down, if you're feeling disappointed, like that's your right. Even if if I'm an EVOS fan, I'm crashing out.
Yeah, valid crash out, honestly.
Yeah, like we got Albert, the start of a season where we got the best Indonesian jungler out there. Where we got Key,
roamer,
and he was performing too. I don't know about the best.
Top 3.
He was
not
good.
even top 3 right now,
dude. Okay, top 3 before the season started. Come on. He was up there. No,
arguable.
He was top 3 last season.
But they were also delivering.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't just hype and then they fell short.
Really
they were delivering. It seemed like such a high for an EVOS supporter, and then it's gotta feel really bad.
Man, I don't know where to start, honestly. Like, you guys have said a lot already, but actually everything I want to say is very different. I want to criticize deep into EVOS, right? Because, man,
it's a recurring problem.
This is a reoccurring problem, and honestly, you can say that it's very unfortunate every single time because there's always a problem. There's always fucking drama with it. But it goes to... Firstly, Depezet, this is your fault. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. I think all the EVOS fans can agree as well. Depezet, you were good. You were really good. Like, I could see the potential as well. Were you Sans level? Probably not, but you were there. You were what the team... You were what the team needed, okay? The team needed you in the lineup, and you fucked it. You literally tried to fuck, and you fucked it.
Twice.
Okay? Twice. Oh my god.
Once.
That's what, dude.
Once.
When it
Twice.
For the people who don't know context,
that's crazy.
Depezet was the mid laner that was supposed to be playing for EVOS, but he got into 2 scandals where he tried to
he made a move.
Partake in intercourse, okay, with a woman, and woman said no, made it viral, all that. First time it happened, I was actually very vocal in the group chats and saying like, dude, this is not a big deal. Like, he just asked, bro. Like,
he was forward about it.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's whatever. The girl says no. It's not like he's like, yo.
He wasn't harassing. He wasn't harassing, right?
Like, yo, you want to do it? No.
It's an offer.
It was an offer. It was an offer that was rejected. Sure, you know? It's like me when I ask for extra shot of latte or extra shot of coffee without wanting to pay. It's like, no, sure. It's an offer, rejection, done. He did it again, and this guy offered to pay, which is illegal.
And again,
just a few weeks after that issue. Oh my
just to be clear, he didn't try again with a different person.
The same person.
The same person. What the fuck,
dude? For everybody who's watching, and you're desperate for love. Keep your thingy inside your pants, okay? Don't let it think for you. Listen, boys, all right? That kills you. This is why religion is important, actually.
Whoa.
Yo, I'm saying.
Spoken by Mirko.
Yeah, imagine. Coming from me. Guys, if you don't have that understanding, you need to find God or something. That's crazy. Depezet, thank you for doing this to EVOS.
Oh, man.
Because it really is on you. But on top of the fact that it's on him, I think it's on the management side, too. Unfortunately... Yes, they were. It was management hell for them. I want to give them a little bit of like an excuse because that no one could have seen that coming, right? Like even the management are probably like, God damn, why are we so unlucky? But I think they listen to the community a bit too much, and the community, I'll be honest with you, especially the Indonesian community when it comes to netizens, are 99% idiots. I'll be honest. In the comment section, the people who actually have valid things to say. It's 1 in a million, and they usually keep to themselves. They don't say it in the comment section. Yep. 90%, if not 99% of the comments that I've seen, especially on Instagram and TikTok, by the way, are real just idiots. They would say anything to... It's whatever they're feeling. EVOS were doing good, yeah? With Erlan.
Yeah.
One match. You can say 2 matches, yeah? Because it was DEWA and then RRQ. The first leg where Erlan lost against DEWA and then lost against RRQ. Against DEWA, I don't think Erlan was that bad. Against RRQ, yes, he was pretty bad. But the community, alongside their own legends, Aura, Donkey, they were restreaming it and they were constantly berating my boy Erlan. Constantly saying like, oh, sell this guy. Which again prompts everybody else... the whole comment section to hate on Erlan. Now, for me, I think the way Aura did it, I don't think it was real. I don't think he actually said, like... I don't think he meant it. He was basically like a pundit saying stuff for fun, just as a streamer. Maybe he meant it a little bit, but the comment section obviously would take it and, would view it as their own personal opinion. And ever since that happened, they were all in the comment section saying Erlan is garbage, he's never been good, all this takes away the entire first 3 weeks of MPL ID. Destroys Erlan's confidence, destroys the management's confidence over Erlan too, because it seems like the management actually listened to that.
Yeah.
I don't think management should listen to the comment section. You guys have a set of professionals behind in your arena, letting you know what's going on in scrims, letting you know how good the player really is. Why are you listening to a bunch of honestly dumbasses on the internet who sometimes aren't even a fan of EVOS? Like, this could be other fans in disguise shitting on Erlan
you wouldn't
as
know.
an EVOS fan. Just like it happens a lot for RRQ, right? A lot of people just claim to be
Sabotage.
Kingdom and then they're
Right.
like, oh, Oknum, the
Oknum,
Oknums. We call it
Oknum.
the Oknums. But, dude, this is what, the fifth time that EVOS have not made it to playoffs through, again, the same issue of rotating their players, listening to too many of the fans' criticism. I think just look at a region that right now is the best in the world. Philippines. De facto, right? Look at the way that they deal with hate, the way that they deal with criticism sent to their own players. They don't bench them unless the coaching staff actually feels, yeah, this guy's bad. I think the best player to bring up in this kind of conversation would be JP. Dude, this guy was literally the scapegoat for everyone when he replaced Yaoi, a big figure, obviously, like a star player. Everybody was already saying, like, oh my God, this JP guy is garbage. It actually made me make the meme, it's JP's fault on stream. You know, it's like, everything's JP's fault, guys. Look, he made a play. It's JP's fault. Then anything, Sanji dies, fuck JP, you know? But look at the management. They don't care about that shit. They don't care about what you guys think in the comment section because they see how good the player is in scrims. They know the quality of their own players and they trust their own coaching staff. The coaching staff that, again, is the one leading the team. And look where TLPH are now. They went through some slumps. They changed a few of their players. JP's still in there, and they're number one in the regular season. Yeah. That's a again, very valid point to bring up for Indonesian management. Stop listening to fans when you already have professionals advising you in the back.
Yeah. And I mean, that also raises a question on, like, who exactly has the full control? Because we talked about leadership in one of the past episodes, talking about Coach Yeb and how the coaching staff is not just about knowing the game, but knowing how to train, but knowing how to review. It's also about that leadership, right? So now for EVOS, like, what's going on there? Is the leadership that shaky? Do they really not have confidence in their own judgment on their own players? Or is it someone even higher than that kind of getting involved here? So again, as I was a fan, the first thing I would ask about, even though all these points make sense, it's like, okay, can we have a statement? Can we have a confirmation on what's going on? Because if I'm supporting this team, I want to know what's going on, right? I want to know if I can continue supporting them, if I agree with their decisions. When there's no statement at all like this, I have no idea. Do I blame the coach? Do I blame the player?
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't be blaming anyone, but, like, you know, I want to know reasons, right? I want to do the math.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. I honestly feel like this conversation could go on and on because this is the underlying problem of, I would say, of EVOS too. They always look to find a scapegoat every time they lose. They back in the day it was Age.
I don't know if it's just EVOS specifically though.
Well,
it's pretty much Indonesia overall.
Exactly.
But
it's
it does happen
Indonesia,
more in EVOS.
But it happens a lot to EVOS because they're a big team.
Right.
With big influence. When you guys, by the way, said Age was garbage, etc., I was in the back in my podcast, in my own video saying, no, dude, Age's drafts aren't bad. Like, not all of them. Some of them are, fuck you, Age. Sometimes you're pretty bad. But most of the times, it's actually not. I actually see the vision, and it's the players fucking up, yada, yada. There are a lot of other factors that come in. But they always seem to, they always want to find a scapegoat with EVOS. Like, back in the day, it was Clover, if you guys remember. Which was, I mean, it was a pretty bad move, but come on. Players make those kind of moves all the time. Even Filipino players have made dumb moves, but they get shat on by the comment section. The management's like, all right, it's okay. It's one mistake, dude. Like, at pro play, when you're supposed to take risks to win the game.
Exactly.
These kind of mistakes happen. It's all good. As long as they learn from it, it's fine. But in Indo, it's always, oh yeah, this guy is shit. He's never been good. Get him out of here.
And it's always like clip-driven, TikTok-driven. I think the culture in Indonesia is too many... Like, people are just watching highlights and stuff instead of just watching the whole match. What happened? What's the context? You know, it's not just one play alone. Everything happens because of reason.
Exactly.
Well, because it really feels like they're not trying to find out what happened. They're like, oh, something's going on right now. Something interesting. There's some drama. There's some hate going on. I want to get involved. I want to participate. So they're trying to find out. They want to find out what happened in order to participate, not to find out and form their own opinion. And that's a dangerous thing, man, because the first thing they find immediately, whether it's true or not, is going to immediately shape their opinion right there and then. And who knows what channel, which clip, which video they're gonna land on, right? Who knows?
Yeah. My God. I think it's quite similar with DEWA United, but I think it's the opposite. Like DEWA don't care about what the fans say. It seems, right, because they're just doing their own thing, which I think is fine. This season, even though DEWA didn't make it to playoffs,
way better than we thought. I think.
they were way better. I predicted them to be 8th and 9th together with Navi. I didn't get EVOS right. I thought Alter Ego were gonna be at 7th, but it was EVOS.
Mm-hmm.
DEWA are actually quite surprising because when everybody, including us, are doubting their decision to promote Spencer and Kesu at the end of the season, they did well. They beat RRQ with it. Well,
they beat RRQ.
We will get into. Obviously, there are a couple of reasons. Chen was playing, but we'll get into that. But I think this is a good start for DEWA because in the past, DEWA have always been, at least their management style, has always been, we prefer experienced players. We prefer players with a name already, with experience, over their own homegrown talents. They had an amazing lineup in their first season that I always said was better than the all-star lineup that they built. They bought Leo Murphy. They bought... I forgot
Drian
the other...
Watt.
Huh?
Drian and what?
They bought Watt. They bought Dre. Dre was the next season though.
Yeah.
But in the first season, they had Leo Murphy. They had like a couple of
big names.
Big names. But I always said the MDL trio was what the four MDL players was what they should build on instead of these players. Like yes, you won't instantly be as recognizable as the other teams because your players are a bunch of quote unquote nobodies. They come from MDL, but they are actually good. They're the team that got you here. Swapping out their goal lane for Watt, I think, is okay because Watt was really good in that season. But Shako, Kays, Lanaya, and Dixon, those were really good. Like, those are good players with a lot of potential. Yet, after making it to playoffs, by the way, with that roster, they decided to reshuffle the entire roster next season. They decided to buy a lot of players, leave Shako, Kays, all of them out of the roster completely, and since then, they've never made it to playoffs. Since their MDL lineup, with the all-star lineup, with Drian in, with Hijume in, with blah, blah, in, they never made it to playoffs. They made it to playoffs when they trusted their own homegrown players.
I think that reinforces the point again that it's not just about player skill, the chemistry and all that.
Exactly.
Really, it's a fine balance. And again, back to the point with EVOS as well, the coaching staff needs to have a vision, right? He needs to understand what they want, what they need, and know that, even if sometimes there's a lack of performance in the game, right? Like one player is underperforming. Sometimes it's not just that player. There's like other factors here, like the synergy, the communication. So I feel like if that approach of just getting the big names, we've seen it before. We've talked about it a lot. It doesn't really end up working that well for the most part, right? Unless, of course, if your coach is that big of a deal, larger than life counterpart that can unite 5 all-star players, by all means, right? We stand corrected. That can happen. Exactly. But that's a very specific, a very idealistic scenario. So if you're it's a regular coach, you're doing a good job, a decent job, right? Sometimes you just have to focus more on the bigger picture. Instead of just the Rome, if the Rome is underperforming, is it just the Rome being shit? Or is it maybe, the mid lane never backs up the Roamer, right? If the jungler keeps missing retries, okay, is the Rome trying to get in the way and trying to stun the opposing team's junglers? All these things you have to kind of look at when you're coaching. And I feel like for DEWA, I think maybe they've kind of realized that. So hopefully, with a great result like that with the new players, they can keep going with that.
Exactly. Trust in Kesu and Spencer. I think they will have really good fundamentals with these players to continue on forward.
And speaking of trust, I kind of question to the decision of taking Rez in the first place. So Rez was actually pretty good early in the season, so I don't really see why they're taking Rez. And also the coaching staff buy and takeover from Bombi and Kurt. We've heard some rumors that it's currently not going the best way they thought it would be. But so far, for DEWA United fans, I think it's going into the right direction. Yeah, it's the best thing that I could say. Yeah. Especially you have a pretty good cornerstone. I think maybe will be the next big thing next season.
I agree.
This is something that they can build on, and they have something to look forward to in season 15.
Yep, I agree. Kesu, Spencer, maybe Ray, Sorizo. I think this is a lineup that actually could bring them to playoffs next season. So it really comes down to the coaching staff. And it looks like they have resolved that issue. Bombi's back on stage. It's no longer Watt and Kurt.
Right.
I hope everything turns out well because, again, like you said, this is a very promising lineup. The fact that they beat RRQ, even with Chen, the fact that they beat RRQ, that it's still 4 members who are number 1. And it's still, and we've always been saying, the Dire and Idok are the reason that everybody does well on the team usually. So I think, especially against DEWA, it really should have been RRQ's win. So the fact that DEWA were able to get it done is very, very impressive. But I think we can move on now to the next topic, which is going to be race to upper brackets. So currently, if you guys don't know, we have Geek Fam and BTR still competing for upper brackets. BTR 9-5 right now. That's the 9 wins, 5 losses. Geek Fam 10-5. They have one final match, Geek Fam, and it's up against BTR. BTR have 2 more matches. Geek Fam and then Alter Ego. And the way we've already calculated it, whoever wins the next bout, which is Geek versus BTR, will make it to upper brackets. So it really comes down to that one match. So I guess we can discuss who you think will make it to upper brackets. If you think it's Geek Fam, if you think it's BTR.
Let's go, Cheffihn.
I mean, do you have to ask me? Like, do we have to ask Arashi first because he's the neutral party here?
I think we ask both of us.
And then I go last. What are you talking about?
Well, obviously we have our biases, but you can, sprinkle in a few facts.
Gotta be honest with
sway the opinions, bro.
Even without the bias, I think Geek Fam is the favorite.
Dang.
Here.
Okay.
I'm not even joking. Like, you see the last match that they played, BTR versus Sonic. I don't think they are as they're still shaky. You know, and goddamn, they're super lucky to have Eman. Like, that's a privilege that I am pretty, jealous about. Like when nothing's going well, you have this guy to lean to, and this is like the safety net of BTR.
I say the same thing about Baloyski though.
Well, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, I think overall, Geek Fam has the better 5 in this case this season.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I feel like the late game execution also, I prefer Geek Fam. They are clicking better and better every week. Not just the Navi match. Like the Navi match, you can just throw that away because Navi. Agree. But the match before that, what was it? When TLID, that gives me so much confidence. The fact that Badang is, in a way, at this point, Baloyski's signature hero too. Like, this is probably the best Badang he's played ever by Baloyski. So yeah, I'm pretty confident with it.
Okay. So for me, obviously, I agree with Cheffihn in the way where I think Geek Fam are the better team. I gotta say, in terms of macro, I think they definitely have the better macro. Like, BTR aren't really known for their macro right now. They're not really known for their coordination. It has been looking very messy, even up against Onic again. But what I will have to say about BTR is mechanically, I think BTR edges it over Geek Fam, and clutch factor. We have the clutch factor that Geek Fam doesn't seem to have. Like, yeah, Geek Fam have big plays. Back in the day, they did have that clutch factor in Aboy and in Chidera, but mainly in Baloyski with the Tigreal, right? Always able to find that one big play that can turn the whole game around. But we haven't been seeing that. Now it's more of like a slow build to winning the game. We haven't been seeing the clutch plays come in. And for that reason alone, I feel like in a high-stakes matchup, BTR could come out on top. Despite being biased to BTR, have to agree with Cheffihn. In this matchup, I think Geek Fam are the favorites. They are the ones that have looked better. BTR look like they're still experimenting in some ways with utility junglers, Luke, Fredrin XP, shit like that. But again, the clutch factor plays a big role in a lot of these high-stakes matchups, and I think BTR can get it done. And obviously, because I'm pretty biased, you haven't noticed already.
Oh wow! I just realized
we have Eman. Okay, we have Moreno. I think Eman gaps Kenzie and Chidera.
Fair.
I think Moreno gaps a boy in terms of mechanical skill. But team play wise, I think Geek Fam gaps BTR.
All right, so is that time for the neutral opinion?
It's neutral opinion time.
All right, so first few points, I do agree. Geek Fam with the macro, again, with Baloyski in the picture, their macro has always been good. Initially, I feel like when they were rising to prominence in MPL ID, that's the special thing about them is that it doesn't matter if the game's like lost, quote unquote lost, they'll still find like the right thing to do in that moment, and that usually allows them to come back. part of why I feel like now we're seeing a much more gradual way of victory for Geek Fam. I feel like that's because the other teams are just getting a lot better as well, in my opinion. Because those kind of clutch moments, they can happen when the other team makes a bit of a mistake.
Yeah.
In a sense that, let's say the other team has already secured a win. If Beloisi can get one big play and take out the gold laner, we've seen it happen before, right?
Yes.
Late game gold lane getting picked off, that means the fight is done, over. And back then, so many things can happen. Like the fact that the gold laner can get picked off first, the fact that the team will maybe go and funnel in and try and save the fight somehow. We've seen that so much. Now in the MPL ID Season 15, I feel like a lot of teams, oh dang, guy got picked off. Let's back off. Let's reset. And that means that there's there's just less moments where, one team fight happens, it's a big win, one straight push. One straight push is a word I haven't heard in a long time on desk. So that's why I feel that that's the case. So on top of that, I do agree that the more explosive, the more unexpected moves have been coming from Bigatron. So that's a good thing and also a bad thing. In a way, they have more surprises in the drafts and also in the execution. But when it doesn't land, right, when they don't get it right or when they miscalculate, and let's say for this particular matchup, Beloisi is able to kind of like read through it, see through it, come up with an unusual solution, then I think Bigatron kind of like, they lose that stability. They don't have a lot of stability to begin with. So when they lose their footing, they spiral down like really hard. So if you're asking me who's more likely to win, I have to agree. I think I go with Geek Fam, right? But the thing is, if everything goes right, then I think Bigatron gets it.
Yep.
So that the big if is there. If Bigatron gets the right draft, they got the right strategy, they do have the right reads, then they have more than enough like skill and experience to get it done. So the difference is that if, right? And if both teams are just playing like standard, nothing crazy happens, I gotta say, I think it's like, 65%, 65-35 for Geek. But
65, ooh.
It's a bit high for me.
Bit high for you?
Yeah.
What's your percentage?
Maybe like 57.
57
to 43. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I think for me, it's I think similar. Yeah, 43, 57 is fair.
Okay.
And one thing I maybe forgot to mention is the fact that Makits and Gops is getting better. More on the Gops side, because Makits, you see the potential early in the season and is pretty much top 2 jungler right now for me. And
Agree.
Gops, like this is, gotta be honest with you guys, early in the season, like first 5 weeks in, I said to these guys that I've never seen a game and then said, I think Gops played good today. That's how, how much I do not rate Gops at a time. But right now, after seeing the matches that he played, the latest few matches, like you see the improvement. He's stepping away from the CC.
Mm-hmm.
He picked a lot more playmaking heroes, and he's clicking more with Beloisi is something that I really like to see, because when you see RRQ, the blueprint, it's always Darren and Edok, right?
Yeah.
The one that turns the game around. So you're going to have a solid playmaker in the XP. And I think Gops, so far, even though he's not there yet, but, I'm hoping and I believe that he will get there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Gobs has been, I think, the most improved out of all of them. I think, you know what? When it comes to most improved player in later on for the awarding, I think I might choose Gobs because of how much he's improved, not just from last season, but even just this season.
Right.
The crazy development. I agree. I think he was the most mid player in Geek Fam in the first few weeks. Even when they were starting to get back up, like starting to improve, we saw Make It, Shadera, Beloy go back to form, but Gobs is kind of like just there. Now he's so good. Yeah.
He's active.
Has he gotten a single game MVP yet? I don't think so, right?
I think he got one player of the game. I might be wrong, but I believe I voted for Gobs as a player of the game one time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when did Gobs show up for Geek Fam?
It was last season where it was like a swap between Gobs and Veldora.
Right.
Yeah.
I recall that he had the ability to make the plays, but unfortunately, whether it's the timing or the follow-up, every single time, back when this was the Arlott meta, was it not? And he was just doing crazy, like, final slashes and all that, getting 4 people. But then the follow-up wasn't there. It seems like it wasn't the right moment. So now it just seems like what has already been there, the playmaking ability, is just timed better. It's communicated better.
Agreed.
So I think that's part of the reason why I think Geek Fam, again, if we also believe in the patterns that Cheffihn initially didn't, right? I think it's fair to say that they're gonna get better, right, by next week. So that's why I rate them so highly. But again, that's if everything goes textbook. I think that's why Bigatron, the pressure to try and do something crazy and be unexpected in this matchup is on Bigatron.
Yeah.
Because if everything just goes textbook, I believe 65% Geek Fam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Tell us what you guys think. If you guys think Geek Fam's gonna win, if you guys think BTR is gonna win, leave it down in the comment section down below. Leave it down in the comment section down. Yes, sir. Okay.
What was that?
I was like, did I say something wrong? Okay. Next topic is, according to you guys, a lot of people back at home in the live chat for the DEWA versus RRQ match.
Okay.
Apparently it was match fixing. Apparently it was like, oh, RRQ gave the win. It's a selling game. Well, firstly, I want to say this is why you don't gamble, boys. Okay. I think most of the comments who were very angry at that match were probably placed bets, probably, right? That's why they were like, oh my god, this fuck this league, fuck this team. But what do you guys think? Like, was it actually a case of, I don't want to say match fixing, but was it actually a case, because there's no way it's match fixing, guys, but was there actually a case that RRQ were just playing around? They were just like, yeah, all right, we don't care anymore. Well, because they've already secured upper brackets. They've already secured number 1, technically. Like, not yet, in a way, because they still have one more match to go, which is going to be Na'Vi. That will be their final match. But that kind of means that they've already secured number 1.
Right.
So, is that the case? Do you think they gave DEWA a win? Because, not really gave, but, you know, like, they played around. They were like, oh, yeah, whatever. This is just it's a throw game, you know?
I mean, I don't see
match.
I don't see why they're trying to play their best. Like, I gotta say, that might be a bad take, because as a player you want to play the hardest every game of the week. But when you show up to work every day in a single calendar year and you still have 2 off days that you haven't taken, then why the fuck you show up to work?
Yeah,
like just take a day off. And this is why Chen played at that game, despite although, like, when you see the match, I can see where you're coming from. The allegations, or like the people saying match fixing, they were terrible. That's the worst RQ match that I've seen in a long while. Not just this season.
I agree. This is the worst RQ match this season.
It's pretty much they get anything that they want. Like, they're not, RQ's not denying anything, but I think that's the case of them trying things out, and maybe just purposely getting a bad draft. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Purposely getting a bad draft.
Well, you want to limit test, and even if Chen played bad at that match, I still think he's gonna play against Na'Vi. Like, yeah.
And by the way, sorry, they don't have one more match. They have 2 more matches. One against TL, then against Na'Vi. But all they need to do to secure number 1 is Na'Vi.
They don't care.
Exactly.
They want more win, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think RRQ played their best, nor do I think they actually try hard. I actually think it was just, could be experiment, could be, all right, let's have fun this game, let's give Chen some game time. And by the way, I checked Chen's IG right after the match, and already he's getting flooded with hate. So just to say my thoughts about Chen, was his debut great? No, it was fucking horrible. Does this mean this player has 0 potential and should get the hate? No. This guy, Albert, started off bad. Skylar started off bad.
Yeah, immediately.
There are a lot of players who start off bad who end up being really, really good. Again, this is a rookie season. AP Bren, the entire lineup, didn't make it to playoffs, right? Like the new one. And even the old one. So give him time, especially for these rookies. Playing with a team like this can get to him. Playing for a team as big as this can get to him. For Chen, if anyone from RRQ is watching, say it to Chen. Tell Chen it's all good. We are a fan of Chen here.
The standard is not Fabian.
The standard is not a Fabian rookie season. Okay, like, it's all good.
I mean, to be fair, on his IG, you still see a lot of people still now commenting like, "Yo, come on, don't stop with this hate, stop with this trend. Give him some support, trust in the process." And I would say, like, even if you don't really trust that, okay, Chen's gonna develop into a monster, at this point, you should at least trust in Keskute.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he is bad and he gets tried on a few more matches and he is beyond saving, Keskute himself won't be delusional and keep it on for no reason. So in that sense, like, again, like, relax, right? There's still so much time. On top of that, where do I want to begin? I have so many opinions on this.
Is it match fixing?
I don't think it's match fixing,
Is
right?
it an
I think
experimental
the
game?
integrity of the league is something that we take very seriously.
Especially RRQ guys. Like if there's more to lose, especially for RRQ, if they did. Like this is the biggest Indonesian org. Do they want to stay in their reputation that they've built their entire like run as RRQ? No, it's not worth it. For any amount of money, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
Maybe the whole world's amount of money. No.
What?
But no one has that.
All right. Is it experimentation?
Yeah.
100%. Dude, again, you changed a player, which is why we were so critical about EVOS. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
It's if you want to take it seriously, there's no way you change one player, right? So they changed a single player, and I would go a step further and say that particularly for a team like RRQ that likes doing risky shit and like they like playing with very thin margins, like several times in their matches, you see them win with a sliver of HP, like everyone's surviving, but only with like 300 HP. Yep. These are very slim margins RRQ like playing with. So when you change one person, that throws everything completely, right? Because they're just so detailed. And that's why I feel like they really were expecting to be able to do a bit more, to still do better or even win with Chen.
They should have still won it probably.
But again, when they're playing so in sync, so calculated, so risky, it makes sense that they won't be doing as much. And you have to keep in mind, not to hate on Chen or anything, but there was that one game where we were looking at the numbers
Suyo, yeah.
post-match. Lowest damage?
Less than Gatot Kacha.
Less than the Rome. Was it Rome, right?
It was Idok, yeah, Rome.
So less damage than the Rome on a Suyo.
And he got out-farmed by Fredrin.
Again, on a Suyo.
Yeah, on Ray
On a Suyo, that's supposedly the fastest farmer that can do more damage than a Yeeve, than a Farsa even in the late game, right? So I'm not saying that we can just blame everything on him.
No.
But I'm saying again, if he was able to perform differently, if he was still Sutsujin, there's an argument to be made there that the whole trajectory of the fights, and the game would have gone very, very different again because of the margins. Yeah. So. Sure. I do think it's not fair to blame everything on him. I do feel like there was definitely experimentation, even in the draft. Cheffihn, I do agree. There's probably an argument to be made that they went for suboptimal options. They went for some decisions, some drafting moves that were kind of eyebrow raising. At first glance at least. So. Yeah, there is no reason for them to go full throttle. At the same time, this is Keskute, right? Back-to-back #1 in the regular season.
Back-to-back.
It's understandable that he wants to try some things, that he wants to try and use this opportunity, this chance, the fact that they have an almost guaranteed first spot. It's not beyond reason that Keskute would want to try some things now. With his experience placing first in the regular season and then kind of dropping in the playoffs. So yeah, I just feel like it is what it is. If you're an RQ fan, take a chill pill, relax, right?
It's not concerning.
Everything is still going really good in the grand scheme of things. All right, so trust in our team, trust in our players, trust in Keskute when it comes to the players and all that. And hopefully we're gonna see an RRQ that's in better shape, better form with or without Chen. Yep. Right? No problem.
All right. So let's move on to the next one then. Let us know what you think about that topic, by the way. But the next is going to be the general competitiveness of MPL ID. How are we going to fare in internationals with the teams and the quality of the matches we've seen this season? If we think our #1 seed is in form, are they able to compete against the best out of the best from Malaysia, from Philippines? That's what we're going to be talking about now. Kind of like our own opinion on how strong we are as a region right now. Cheffihn, you want to start things out here?
Well, I think usually when I see our competitiveness and compare it to the other regions, I just always look at PH, man.
Yes.
How many S-tier teams they got. And I feel like so far the only team that I confidently trust to go up against this PH teams, despite them not having the best record against them, is RRQ. Seriously. The #1 seed is clear-cut the best team in Indonesia by quite a few margin. And, I don't know if it's biased or not. I think GEEK Fam is slowly getting there, but I don't know if there's enough time for them to be able to catch up to these S-tier teams. Meanwhile, when we see PH teams, I gotta say, at least, at the very least, top 3 is S tier teams. So the thing is, when you have multiple S tier teams in the same region, they make each other better.
Exactly.
Yes. They're getting better tests. They're getting better enemies, even in scrims.
Better quality.
Yeah. So I'm kind of worried about how RRQ will become, will elevate their quality when the opponent are not as competitive as the PH representative has. That's the main problem that I have with the ID region right now. For the other regions that I see, so far I've only mostly seen ID, so sorry for the lack of information. But MY, I think, is still SRG, right? But I don't know if they are still an S tier team. I think the last match they absolutely destroyed Homeboys, but before that, it's still, I don't know actually. I haven't seen their matches.
The last international match that they played was up against BTR actually, and it was still like the early season BTR.
SPS?
SPS. Before the season even started.
Gotcha.
And BTR won, which I was surprised, but
that's how you know it's surprising, man.
Yeah. I don't think SRG are in the form that they were at MSC, like last year, obviously. Are they in the form of M6? That's the question now, because I don't. That takes a special. It takes a special season to be able to get to MSC form SRG again. The unbeatable, invincible SRG and MPLMY and MSC. Yeah, I don't think they're good right now. They're not at like S tier. They are A tier definitely though in internationals for sure. I want to give a shout out to CFU from Cambodia, because shout outs to Opie. You know Opie?
Of course,
bro. So this season he's playing as a mid laner, Arashi. So he's played he's played every role in MLBB.
That's ridiculous.
I think he might be the only player to, correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely the only player to do that
Drian?
in Cambodia. Has Drian played all the roles?
Oh,
has
roles?
he played gold lane? I don't think he's played gold lane.
He hasn't. Gold?
Gold?
He has played gold.
Okay, so no XP. See, Opie has played XP. That was his first season at MSC 2021, baby. That was Impunity, Benedetta.
Yes, sir.
Split push, backdoor, Opie. I remember that.
Oh, those are good times.
That was my
man.
first international, and that he
our
really,
first international.
Yeah, our first international.
Yeah.
Really left a mark. Opie. I'm an Opie fan. We're an Opie fan. We love Opie. Hopefully, CFU can do well, because if we take a look at how good CFU were at M6 as well, I was really surprised by them. Honestly, I thought without See You Soon, they wouldn't do well. Like Cambodia as a region. Which was true. They didn't make it out of groups. But the fact that they got pretty hard matches in the groups and they were able to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe against big teams, SRG, almost beating them. If it wasn't fucking Innocent. If you guys remember. The Innocent,
yeah.
Oh, a crazy Innocent play. But if it wasn't for that, CFU were the better team up until Innocent said, no, you're not knocking us out in Malaysia. Yeah, I think
very
a lot
cool
of potential.
moment.
Sing, the lineup that they had previously was already really good. Now that they have Opie in the mid, a very experienced mid laner, and Boxy from See You Soon in Rome, Chogod, and still the same lineup overall. Detective, Sing, CFU, Dark Horse, MSC. I'm calling it right now for me. I think they will shock a lot of people. But now back to the point of MPL ID and how competitive we are.
That's a long segue.
Because I just really want to give my flowers, as Arashi said.
I was saying, yeah.
I agree with Cheffihn. I think there's not much to add there. I think the top 4 teams, top 3 at minimum, if you don't want to count Falcons, are S tier teams. I think it really comes down to TL, Aurora, or Onyx to make it to MSC. In Indo, I think there's only one S tier team. I think we all know who it is. It's RRQ Hoshi. I categorize BTR as a triple S team. No. A team. I think they're A. GEEK Fam are also A tier. A plus maybe.
How about Onyx?
See, Onyx are the wild
Not
card.
yet.
I know, right? They're like a wild card team right now.
They're weird. Because I think if Yeb continues to coach the team, they can get to S again.
Yeah.
But is he gonna?
But is he going to?
That's
the big question.
Even if they get S, it doesn't really, it's not a guarantee to qualify for MPL ID. Because last season, when we were in Bandung, even Beloyski said that they were the best team, right?
Beloy, yeah.
Onyx.
I asked him about it. He told me dude, if it like I could feel it. This team was the best team. If we didn't beat them with the power of God, he literally just said like we were just blessed that day. I think they would have won it again, which was it's scary to think like this team that we thought finally the era is gone. You know, they might actually still be the best. It's just they're lingering in the shadows, waiting for a moment to strike again. But yeah, that's why Onyx are weird. But I think in Indonesia, this is definitely the most competitive we've been like amongst our teams.
Agreed.
Usually we don't have a competitive top 6. We know 100% who's going to MSC, who's going to M Series. We know 100% who's even going to be top 4 every time. There's no there's the prediction of day 1 is probably the easiest one usually, you know. But now I don't even know. Like Alter Ego are really good. They finally understood what makes them strong. TLID are another wild card. Like they're very weird with it. It's so weird. Like their players are still okay, but then sometimes they're really dumb, and then sometimes the drafts are really good. The drafts are really good, and then sometimes they're really dumb. Like maybe I have a feeling like TLID might be like, dude, we can't make it to upper brackets anyways. Fuck it. Like we're just gonna try and experiment because there's no reason to do anything anymore right now. It's you're fighting for placements, 6th or 5th.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Everyone. It's scary to face off against anyone here. Like going up against a 3rd place team or 4th or 5th place team. It's the same. Like, fuck it. Just, toss a coin. Flip a coin. So I think, yeah, Indo, very competitive. I love the landscape of Indo right now. And we are slowly getting to a point where it's as competitive in the Philippines. Like
Hopefully.
you said, 4 S-tier teams, 3 S-tier teams. Here, we have 1 S-tier team, a lot of A-tiers. And these A-tiers all have potential to be S-tiers in the future.
I feel like what I'll add on to that, though, I agree with everything. I do agree we are the most competitive we've been, and hopefully it does elevate us. I really do feel, though, but Indonesians, we have a tendency to pick up bad habits, I would say.
Okay.
Like, in a sense that, ideally, right, you want your team to do the right thing, the right maneuver, the proper maneuver every single time. But Indonesia is very good at coming up with ways to force you to do something else.
Okay.
So in a sense that you have to be either really good at textbook, like proper Mobile Legends high level. And if you're not, you just have to end up like doing weird shit. Like, for example, with Bigatron, you just end up having to use fucking Masha in the EXP lane sometimes, And like if you're facing Masha in the EXP lane, sometimes you're forced to go with picks and drafts that just isn't like, proper meta Mobile Legends. And then I fear that's one of the factors that's making Indonesia, our top teams, kind of wonky sometimes. Because now they have to try and have a goal of being good enough to play textbook against the Filipinos, right? That's the S-tier region right now. But sometimes they'll go up against someone like DEWA, let's say. Or screw it, someone like Alter Ego, and they'll come up with something so crazy. You're like, we can't do this. You can't face against this like the normal way, the proper way. And I feel like that's just such a weird situation to be in, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if people agree with me on that one, but that's why we were known as like the brawl server, the exciting server. Yeah, because you have no fucking idea, right? Sometimes. I mean, look at the rank games. I think we can agree that rank games in the Philippines, rank games here, there's gonna be a bit of a difference. You find some weird shit here, dude.
Yeah.
And
especially in solo, right, Cheffihn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I play solo as well sometimes. Like Omawa.
No, as
also.
in like solo, as in where he's from.
Oh yeah.
But also solo queue.
I don't know. I feel like the quality is getting worse by season.
Yeah,
Let's get legit.
matchmaking.
Oh man, but yeah. So that's where my concern is about Indonesia matching up towards the Philippines. It's a work in progress. I think we're getting there, especially with the additions of like the new what do we call it? Like the good coaches that we're getting right now.
Yeah.
I feel like that is so beneficial. That's probably accelerated our catch-up speed by like a year or something. It's a massive difference.
Yeah.
So that might be because initially there was this foreign exchange technically with the imports coming in, and maybe management are hearing oh wait, our coaches are shit. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Now better coaches are coming through. I feel like it's a great sign. I think I'm pretty optimistic about the future.
Yep.
It's not hate towards the Philippines, by the way. Fuck off.
No, Arashi hates Philippines.
Yeah,
not
Arashi
bullshit.
hates the Philippines. If you ever see him in the airport, please strike him down. No?
The captain. I'm just kidding.
Decapitated, right? Okay. We are going to move to our final topic. This is going to be a short mere recap because honestly, there's not much to talk about. The long talking duration for a few of these topics, but now the final one is the Filipino imports. To talk about that, to move on from what you just said about Filipino imports. I think the Filipino imports who are now in Indonesia might be here to stay. Like, in the past, we've always just thought of Filipino imports as maybe just a temporary thing. They're coming here to get success, to again do well with the teams. It's a win-win situation for both. And then there's going to be a time where we're gonna have to say, all right, goodbye, Kyrie, goodbye, Baloyski. It's been a good run. See you in the Philippines. See you when we see you. But dude, I mean, both Kyrie and Baloyski are, and Eman is probably not gonna stay. I'll be honest with you because his girlfriend is Filipino. Unless the Filipino girlfriend comes over to Indo and then maybe they live their lives here. If Bigachang win MSC, Bigachang will sign him until 2040. So Eman, don't you're not gonna escape. If you go to MSC with BTR, you're never escaping BTR, baby. You're a red forever. Co-ed's gonna force you to wear that red hair forever.
It's gonna be a blood contract.
Yeah, it's a blood contract. But no, Kyrie Baloyski are the two imports that I want to talk about because I really feel like out of the all the imports, they're the two in Indonesia that I think have the highest chance to be naturalized as Indonesians.
They're on the
And
way
they
there.
might actually just say,
I agree.
I want to stay in Indonesia. I want
I like it here.
to migrate over to Indonesia because both of them have Indonesian girlfriends, and that's a big thing because if you go serious with your girlfriend, you want to go on marry you.
You gotta be in the same area.
In the same area.
Yeah.
It's pretty understandable. So. And I mean, Kyrie is a fucking celebrity here. He's a god here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him. He can't go to a mall without a billion people walking up and saying, "Oh my God, Kyrie, can I get a picture?" Baloyski, from what I've heard from him, he's already yeah, I'm committed, bro. I want to be Indonesian. So, I think these two are here to stay. And I think this is again a really cool thing in MLBB if it does happen. Yeah, obviously for the Filipinos, there's probably still going to be kind of no, man, they're going to be, they want to come back to the Philippines, But
might be split though. There might be some people saying
some people will understand
we're
that.
happy for them.
For sure.
Because they do have a lot going for them here, right?
Yeah.
Financial wise, fame wise, career wise.
They kind of know it too. I think the Filipinos also know that a lot of their people move on and migrate to different countries to find a better life in the end.
That's true. That's true.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think this is a possibility in the near future right now? Very high possibility that because if they do stay and if they do turn to Indonesians, then we can use them in SEA Games.
I see.
What possibility for them playing for us in Indonesia?
Just them
if they become
naturalizing, staying
Indonesian,
in Indonesia and
play for us
living
in
in
SEA.
Indonesia.
Yeah, I know.
That's so. What do you think is the odds? You think it's likely? You think it's gonna?
Well, it's almost 100%, right? Surely.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a hard
take.
question at all. And Baloyski right now, if you guys don't know, he's a part-time MPL player. He's a full-time restaurant waiter.
Yeah, dude. He's
Wait,
helping his girlfriend's family business. I think. The
He's a
girlfriend has a
Pampa
restaurant.
I
I want to go. I
Chindo
want to
life.
visit. I want to visit that restaurant with the boys and
It's
be
like,
yo, what's up, Beloy?
Where is it? Where is it?
Dude, I'll ask him. Let's
go.
We'll go. We'll
We should
try
go.
to vlog it. Just hang out with Beloy maybe. But
If he's there.
if he's there,
Getting lunch with the war crime general.
yeah, and
dude.
then eating pempe with. That's I think in Filipino, everybody's gonna. What the fuck did he say? Pempe is food. I think. I don't know if that is a bad word in the Philippines.
Pempe?
Maybe.
It sounds like it could
Yeah,
be.
it sounds like a
It
bad
could be.
Filipino
Yeah.
It could be.
But yeah. So that's it. I mean, he just got 1,000 kills, Kyrie, and Baloyski's about to break the
Ooh.
record for most deaths in the league. Kyrie's about to break the record for most kills. Baloyski's about to break the record.
Duality
for most
of man.
You want to talk about these are the biggest 3 hits of Filipino import. Eman, Kyrie, and Baloyski. That's the easy top 3. But the fact that most of the Filipino imports did not work out in Indonesia.
Most?
I
Theo,
think so.
Fren, Irad, Bruce.
Hey, bro,
Yeah.
your team.
Yeah, that was the one I mentioned was in your team.
The Lar.
The Lar,
And there was a lot of hype from the Lar too, man.
Marky,
Oh, right.
Monkey had his moments, but
moments.
at the same time, yeah.
Hades.
Yeah,
We've gone through a fair share of Filipino players.
Yeah, when you put it that way.
I wonder what's the difference between those players. Like, what made them hit? What made them miss?
For RRQ, I think it was just a management issue, a whole the
Yeah.
coaching staff issue, where they both didn't want to work with each other. From what I've heard, Zaya and Vren, and both had their own teams. Like Zaya wanted to trust his 5 players. Vren was like, "All right, I'll take my 5 players against your 5 players." So it was a competition inside of the org itself. And it led to Brusco moving to Onyx Philippines, which I think even he thanks God to this day. Like he's like, oh my God, thank God I moved to this team right
Bruce
here.
Goat.
He's a world champion now, but
He's good at Tekken as well.
no, Brusco
L1 guy.
Brusco L1 does not make you good at Tekken, bro. Okay, learn the real Tekken. All right, Brusco, we're 1-1. I'll see you at MSC, buddy. Yeah, see you at Kelra, King Kong. King Kong. He's not even a competition for me. Get out, King Kong. Kelra and Brusco, get ready to get destroyed.
He didn't even play anymore.
I'll still destroy you boys.
Oh, okay.
And they're playing MPL. They don't play too, so it's fair game.
You never know with those guys, dude. Sometimes they're just playing sometimes.
Kaura has messaged me like 7 or 9 times after M6. And 7 out of 9 times, it was all Tekken. Bro, Tekken.
I got one as well, actually, which surprised me.
1 out of 1, Tekken.
There was a story where I was just doing like it was someone, but like we were doing like, you know, like, hey, watch out.
Yeah.
And he just replied to the story, Tekken. Like, bro, I was like, what?
This guy's addicted to Tekken after getting smackaroonied at M6. Okay, yeah, back to the point. So Filipino imports, why didn't they work? Some of them.
I feel like some people just, some of them just have like a suitable like mindset for it, in my opinion. Because I feel like whether or not you can move permanently, that's not something that changes very easily. You know, I don't think a lot of the players here, whether they do stay or not, they come here not knowing, and then, oh, they know for sure. Yeah. You know, like I feel like there's already a bit of an idea. Like, okay, whether or not I can stay here, they probably decided already, like whether it's even possible when they arrive. You know, so I feel like a lot of them came here with the idea that it's gonna be a short stint. You know, like we expected as well, because let's be real here. It's a tough process as well. You move to a whole new country, learn the whole new language as well, right? Not to mention you have to navigate the Indonesian like bureaucracy and system. It's a whole different like vibe. You know, it's a whole different set of like tasks and challenges if you're moving from a different country. So I do feel like that's the case. And for Kyrie and Beloyski, I do feel like, of course, after that initial point, the fact that they're also granted a lot of opportunities, right? A lot of opportunities and success is definitely a factor that moved the needle in the direction of staying. Like with Kyrie just blew up, right? Beloyski, not as hard, right? You can agree on that. But he was given the opportunity, right, to have so much impact, so much sway. You know, in a team, and that's something that doesn't really come that easily, right? Yeah, you can call it a bit of a stroke of luck. So
again, Beloy is head of esports, the head of transfers,
masseur,
scouter,
yoga instructor,
everything.
Chef,
He's everything.
Security.
It seems, yeah.
He's their intelligence as well. He's the one asking around people, like, yo, getting the inside scoop. Yeah. So yeah, he has a lot of control, and that's a very important opportunity, and it suits him. Like, if a different player was given the same opportunity, it might not have worked the same way. But because it's Beloyski, right? We talked about Beloyski, how he has knowledge that transcends the game, how he's a bit of a mini Yeb as well. So the fact that, you know, that all those factors kind of lined up together, it's a perfect storm that I think allowed him to actually be where he is right now and decide, hey, you know what? Everything is so good. I feel like it's a possibility. Might as well stay. And by all means, with his success, right? If he was to come back and visit the Philippines, it's not a difficult thing to do.
Just go
man.
back.
Come
on. Do you think he'll get signed?
Huh?
Do you think he'll get signed if he comes to Philippines again?
Dude, I meant for a vacation. But if he wants to transfer back, I don't know. I
don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I'm just gonna say it. I think he's had offers.
Oh,
yeah. I think
the guy
stands
is a
out.
hot commodity.
Man
right
stands
now,
out, dude. Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, I think Geek Fam has him locked down. Like right now, like I don't think Geek Fam will ever want to sell him, even if he does. Even if he like say in next few years
wants to
loses
leave?
out on like the individual skill and a better roamer comes in mechanically to come in, he'll be a coach for sure. He'll definitely just move on and transition from being a player to a coach. And Geek Fam will probably still value him that. And then in the future, maybe head of esports of Geek Fam or something, you know, like a Yeb deal. I really hope Beloyski gets that route, you know, like if he retires from pro play, I hope he doesn't just disappear or just become a streamer. We've never seen a player retire and become a coach before. Watt. That's it. But a player, aside from Watt, I don't think we've seen it in Indo.
Not yet, right? Because
So,
all the
yeah.
coaches were from different games.
Oh, wait, wrecked.
Barbosa.
Barbosa is a player.
Fala.
He's
I mean,
best roamer in the world.
Fala.
Fala. Like, they didn't retire, dude.
Race boy.
Face
They didn't
hugger.
retire. They didn't retire.
Race boy?
Face hugger.
Race Boy didn't retire. He just like he just didn't get. He wasn't competitive anymore.
Face hugger. Susugaja.
Like Beloyski,
Susugaja, yeah.
Susugaja, he was just shafted by the org, man.
That's so true. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying, all right? There's a lot of fucking examples, but you know what I'm saying. A player with the accolades of Beloyski, with
Adi?
the intelligence of a Beloyski.
Oh, Rave? Rave? I think.
Bro, they're MDL players, man. They don't make it big, man. Adi was a Dota player, bro. Like,
Let him have his point.
that game dead, man. Fuck. Okay.
We gotta keep stoking
Please.
the fire, bro.
We
We gotta feed
you
the fire.
understand. You understand, right, Chad? You understand what I'm saying here. You know what I'm saying? Like a person with that level of intelligence in MLBB, with the achievements of Beloyski, usually they just go and become streamers because obviously.
Eto Max.
Dude, shut the fuck up, man. He did actually win MSC. My fucking goat. It's a max. He would be He would be more of my goat if he got red hair, but he didn't. So
Can you
Etomax will
one-up me?
just be what?
Can you one up me?
I don't think so,
Okay.
man. I used up all my cards.
Pep
earlier.
Guardiola. Let's fucking add in players. There's Xabi Alonso. All right. Okay. We get it. It happened before, but Beloyski would be crazy. All right.
Yeah, Velasquez would be
He
cool.
would would be the best coach. He would
There could
be
be a
like,
movie.
No.
Movie, cool story, no?
No. TV show. Movie too short.
TV show. Okay,
Oh.
okay.
We need a whole journey of Beloyski from his basketball days, b-balling. He was actually a high school basketball player.
Yeah, he was in shape. His
Enough with
photos
the
scary.
Beloyski glaze. Beloyski, you've had enough glaze this season. We all knew, because usually sometimes we're like, yeah, this guy can't play, show something. But this season, it was only you. We all kind of knew, like, all right, it's Beloy, you know, like, we don't need to talk about this guy. Fuck this guy. We know he's going to be good. The first few weeks is a troll. I think that's it. That's it. It's been fun. I think this is the shortest mere recap. We've only got an hour. Usually there's another 20 minutes to it.
I'm trying to curb myself because I end up ranting a lot.
Yeah.
So earlier I was like, I catch myself like almost starting a rant. I'm like, you know what?
Hull.
The point is made already. You know, I'm just trying to reinstate it. So it's like, relax.
That's pretty much my thing with you, especially.
What do you mean?
Like you already break down a lot of it. Like I'm left
It's
with
force
my
of habit,
points.
motherfucker. Like I do it for a living.
So you have anything else to add, Cheffihn?
Uh,
You want to say anything to the fans or
I don't know, man. Nothing. I guess.
nothing? Okay. Well, you guys can follow Cheffihn on Instagram at
Cheffihn.
Cheffihn. It's just at Cheffihn. You can find Chahyo. You can search Chahyo. That's his name. Chahyo Bimo.
Yes.
Megan Toro.
Megan Toro.
Are we
on
doxing?
IG.
What if Light comes out?
Huh?
What if Light comes out?
Light's name is not Chahyo. His name is Dylan.
Imagine he changed it to BTR Chayo.
Oh, that would be funny, honestly.
That would be hilarious, dude. Dang.
What about you, Arashi? You got any last words for the people back at home?
If RRQ doesn't win MSC.
I would go blood or something, yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the
You want to make a bet? This is Kesky's third season. RQ's back-to-back season to regular season champ. You want to make a bet? Say like, all right, if RQ doesn't win this season, I'll do something. Just a challenge, right?
See, I don't mind, but I don't know what. Because coloring the hair, that's
No? Okay. No
that's
coloring.
tough, dude. I can't maintain. Like
Okay.
my towels,
Uh-huh.
my bed sheets.
No, but like coloring your hair to blonde, you won't.
Oh, just blonde? I thought
yeah.
you meant like orange.
You could go orange, but blonde is basically RRQ, right? Like,
RRQ doesn't win.
I would look so scuffed in blonde hair, though. Damn.
just be like, if RRQ doesn't win, I'll.
You'll make your bed every day.
Huh?
You'll make your bed every day.
Nice, would love that.
I like how it's like implicitly.
Or like
implied
you'll get
I
an
don't.
RRQ tattoo.
Oh.
Oh damn! Wait, that's an even bigger commitment. Relax. Wait, hang on a
Okay,
second.
Then you make like if RRQ win MSC, I'll get an RRQ tattoo.
Damn, like the pressure.
Yeah,
if you want.
You're trying to peer pressure me.
I'm gonna get a tattoo of BTR on my foot. No, I'm joking.
Like over here, BTR.
Little Mirko.
Little Mirko.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't do.
But all right, how confident are you in RRQ winning this season then?
Winning this
Out of
season.
10, out of 10. 1 to 10, how
Give us a
confident
percentage.
Okay, percentage. 100% then. 1 to 100%.
92.
92% confident.
That's
There you go.
high.
How confident were you last season?
Shit.
Be honest. Be honest.
Actually, wait. Last season, initially it was higher. I'll be real with you. I think it was like at like 95.
Regular season. By the end of the regular season.
End of regular season, it went down a bit just because we saw a fucking liquid
Ah.
blow the fuck up. So I think that it was about. It should be like somewhere like 85.
That's still
87.
so high. What the hell?
Honestly,
yeah, it's fake. I made a suit.
Yeah, he
What?
did. He
Yeah.
made an orange suit last season.
Bitch, like you think I wasn't confident? I made a suit.
That's just a form of support. I thought that was the case.
Yeah, but I thought it was gonna happen. You know?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Oh my god.
So it went down because liquid was popping off so hard. So this.
This is the better season. You think they like higher chance to win this season? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
92.
Again, with what they've been through, with the learning curve,
Right.
expectations, this has to be it, man. Come on.
How confident are you in Geek Fan winning the season, Cheffihn? We'll end it with that.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, right? Be realistic. It's one. No, just kidding. Probably like
Fuck off. This guy.
18%.
Huh?
18?
18?
Okay, how confident then percentage-wise
thing, right?
for making it to MSC then?
Make it to MSC.
Which means what?
Like
Second place, minimum top
Top
two.
two,
Like,
right?
At,
Yeah.
at best top two. At worst top two, I mean.
55.
Okay, there you go.
Am I being pessimistic or
No, I think that's fair because of how competitive it is.
Yeah,
I
I
think
know.
RRQ are
That's what you said. Like
ahead of
S A
everyone.
A.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought
I
it's
think that's
18.
fair. Oh, me for
Are
BTR.
you saying I'm not being realistic with my expectations?
No, because you're the only S tier. RRQ are the only S tier team. I think it's so. I think it's. If I was a fan of RRQ, I'd also say 92.
To be fair,
I'd maybe say 95.
I tend to be very pessimistic, so that's me. Like kind of
So
gas
now-
myself up. But yes,
My percentage for BTR 100%. We're going to win this season, baby. Let's fucking go, baby. 100%. These teams ain't shit. Let's go, my goat, Eman. Eman Esports gonna win, bruh. The fuck you laughing about, bruh? The fuck you laughing at?
it's so Mirko, dude.
Bro, we gonna win, bro. We have the best team in the world, best goal leader in the world. Kelra, sit down, bro.
If it means anything, I
I'm
do think
joking.
you have a shot.
Yeah. Kelra,
You have
sit
a
down.
real
we
shot,
have
bro.
Eman. Eman is like
Like an espresso
he's
shot.
like gone in the gold lane. He's won a world championship somewhere in my head, somewhere in my dreams.
Yes.
So, and Kelra, you haven't won in my dreams. You haven't won a world championship. So I'm just saying. And Eman is undefeated at M series. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Realistically, I think it's 100% for BTR. But Cheffihn, Arashi, peace out. This is Cheffihn. This is Arashi. You can find him on IG. If you ever post on YouTube, I'll let you know about it. Cheffihn, if you ever post on YouTube, I'll let you know about it too. Bye.